Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where the WWE couldn't screw up this pay-per-view if they tried. I mean, the WWE tried to screw up this pay-per-view. It's lost to the Midcard. Welcome. We are back from vacation. I apologize for not being here for this past Thursday. I was way too wiped out from my trip in LA. Lots of travel woes on the way back. Supposed to be back home and in my bed or my couch by 9:30 p.m. and it turned out to be about 1:30 a.m. Luckily, otherwise I may have had to almost spend the night in Minneapolis with millions of delays. But I made it back home, had a fun time at EA Play. Got to play a lot of great new games that are coming up. Got to meet a lot of people, have a lot of fun. So it was a great trip. But we are now back on the wagon with Money in the Bank. We're going to talk about that. Our 5 count, if it gives you any heads up on how the show went tonight, we made up this 5 count on the fly. 5 things we would fix about tonight's pay-per-view. That gives you any indication of how the show went tonight. But first, thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. All you got to do is search for Lost in the Midcard. Hit that subscribe button if you've already done so. Tell all your friends to do so that way you all know when a new episode comes your way, typically most Thursdays and every Monday, most Mondays after a WWE pay-per-view event. You can also follow us on that YouTube and subscribe to us there. The links to all that are on our Facebook page, facebook.com/LostInTheMidcard in the notes section. We are also on the Twitter at LITMC Podcast. I am your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JB Huskers. And as always, my co-host, you can find him on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing?
WWE managed to take one of my favorite pay-per-views every year and turn it into an absolute train wreck. So, how do you think I'm doing, JB?
You know, there's that time when we said, oh, this could be like the 5th major, and this could be a combined branded pay-per-view, because it's always so good. And then Vince dropped a done on it, basically. At least the main event was good, but they fucked that up too with a certain.
Well, it was a one match. Look, I hate to repeat myself from Extreme Rules, but this was a one match show, and dare I say, Extreme Rules might have had slightly better creative, and that's not saying much, because both creatives were pretty bad, but yeah, it wasn't good. Like, I don't even know where to begin. They did so many things wrong tonight that I called every single match correctly. This afternoon, if you guys are following me on Twitter, I put out my picks. I called every match correctly, and like the pay-per-view could have been good with every single person I picked the win to win. If you just have half of a brain and use a little bit of creativity. But, that's not what Vince is all about.
No. I thought the title match was fine. I thought it was pretty decent. I thought the men's Money in the Bank ladder match was excellent. Amazing. Actually, probably. It was one of the better matches, I think, of the year. Zayn just totally killed it in this match, especially early on. And early on, it was great matches, but completely shitty stupidity. We'll get into that in a minute, but let's first talk about the pre-show. With one match on the card for the pre-show, the Hype Bros reuniting, taking on the Colognes. We weren't here for the pre-show, so we didn't talk about SmackDown last week, Matt, but I just thought it was a weird interaction between Ryder and Raleigh, and I just thought there was going to be some like a right or heel turn here. I just had this weird feeling.
I don't think either one needs to turn on the other until they don't win the tag titles.
Yeah.
And nothing says we don't give a shit about your feud like doing a turn on the pregame show.
Yeah.
So as far as I'm concerned, I don't see like whoever turns on whoever, which I do feel like that's going to happen. To me, it shouldn't happen until after they get their tag title shot and they lose.
Yeah.
So when they get their shot against the Usos and they lose, I expect somebody to turn on. I expect one to turn on the other after that.
Yeah. Like, I could see Mojo turning heel. I'd
rather it be Ryder, but...
Yeah. Well, I can see Mojo, because on SmackDown he was all hyping about it, where he goes next after losing to Jinder Mahal. He was all thinking solo, singles career. And then out of nowhere pops Ryder, and he's not really all that hyped up. But neither is Ryder. It was a weird interaction on SmackDown. But the match here, I thought they looked like they didn't miss a step. I thought they looked good as they always do as a tag team. I wouldn't mind. I mean, with as good as they looked here, I mean, I wouldn't break them up. I would give them the titles eventually, and I guess that was originally the plan until Ryder went down with injury.
Yeah,
so.
They were supposed to take them from. They were supposed to win it from Orton and Bray.
Yeah, I think they looked good here. So maybe my thoughts of just the odd interaction between the two is nothing really to make sense of, and maybe they do eventually come out with the gold. Who knows? So you said you'd rather see Ryder turn heel. So you'd like to see Zach be a bad guy, huh?
I would like to see anything that involves Zack Ryder actually getting a decent push. And if turning him heel gets him a push, then I'm all for it.
Yeah. What'd you think of the kickoff show match here?
I thought it was fine. I thought everybody worked hard. I thought it was a good way to start the overall show. Just everything went downhill afterwards.
Yeah. We kick off the main show with the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Tamina, Carmella, and Natalya. And, I mean, this was basically, Matt, I would say 10 to 11 minutes of great action, followed by a ridiculous ending.
I would like to go on record that whoever booked this finish, and I don't care if it was Vince McMahon, Kevin Dunn, Road Dogg, I really don't care. Whoever booked this finish should be fired.
Yeah. I
mean, on the spot, absolutely, positively fired.
I mean, aren't you just basically shitting on the women's revolution by not having a woman climb the ladder to grab the briefcase?
Look, you want to get James Ellsworth involved? You want to know the perfect finish? You put Carmella on Ellsworth's shoulders, and he climbs the ladder and lets her take it down.
Yeah. But yeah,
fine.
It was ridiculous.
I expected Ellsworth to get involved.
Yeah, me too.
I totally expected him to be involved, but
that's why
the fact that a woman didn't pull down the briefcase was ridiculous.
It was, and I predicted Carmella to win almost.
So did I.
She was my almost immediate pick. A month ago when we started talking about this, I said my early thoughts were Carmella, mainly because I think James Ellsworth was going to do something, but two, I think it's these new girls have been, there was a story that came out that Triple H is disappointed on how Vince is handling his NXT wrestlers on the main roster.
Imagine that.
But at least with Alexa Bliss, it's been good. I think with Carmella, it's been good. And so Carmella justifiably gets a big push. And I loved her tease later on in the night. I think it's going to be fun seeing those guys kind of troll Naomi or whoever's champion after that point. But so I think they put it on the right person. But you basically just shit on the women's revolution by doing it the way they did. A lot of people on the internet agree. I know you agree. You basically just shit on it because.
Dude, I had a bunch of people over for the show tonight, guys and girls. I have a lot of friends. Girls who have been more interested in the product over the last year due to how they've been booking the women.
Yeah.
They were excited about this match. And, like I felt like the air deflate in the room after that finish.
Yeah.
And the last thing you want to do, like for an entertaining time, is be hanging out with a bunch of angry women. And I'll tell you what, dude, like the mood changed after that match. And we didn't feel like much of a party after that match, just to how angry the women were. And and like we as wrestling fans hated it over like the creative thing, but I can totally see it from a woman's perspective that they shit all over them as women as well. And it's just it's bad on so many levels. I can't understand whoever booked that and whoever allowed that to happen. Like, seriously, shouldn't have a job tomorrow. Like, it's that simple. They should be fired, because any person with half a brain could have come up with the Ellsworth with Carmella on his shoulders idea. You still get Ellsworth involved. Carmella still comes down with the briefcase, and you avoid all of this, bullshit that you just caused. I can't believe that they did this and they didn't realize what kind of backlash that this was going to occur with the wrestling fans after this. I'm at a loss. I really, really am.
I don't know who thought that would be a good idea. I mean, except for one guy. Pal.
Dumbass.
But, I mean, and it was a very good match. I mean, for 5 women to be in something that's not their element, they put on a hell of a match. And
they all worked really hard.
It was a great match until the finish. I mean, all the way. I mean, there was no complaints at all. I don't think I had a single complaint about this match until, I mean, maybe Tamina looking a little slow and stiff at times, but in the beginning she looked great. But
she could have gotten banged up.
That's just nitpicking.
Look, as those matches go on, you gotta forgive spots not looking clean, because they're getting their asses kicked in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's an element none of these 5 women have been in before, and it was great. It was great. It was great, but then, I mean, there's a lot of times, like, Matt and I will talk about a match, and I'll like the match, and Matt will hate it because of the finish. This is one where I loved the entire match, and normally a finish wouldn't drive me to hate it, but this finish absolutely drove me to just, I just hated the finish. It was ridiculous. So, but Carmella is now your first ever Miss Money in the Bank. Daniel Bryan took to Twitter and said, absolutely unacceptable and cheap. The circumstances surrounding the women's Money in the Bank match will be the first thing addressed on SmackDown Live, as it was announced that Daniel Bryan will be making his return to SmackDown Live for the first time since he was gone for the birth of his baby girl Birdie. So I would love for Daniel Bryan to just say, screw it, we're having a Money in the Bank women's match on SmackDown Live tonight. James Ellsworth, you're banned from ringside.
Oh my.
I wouldn't hate that, would you?
I don't know.
They're not going to do it.
Look, if you're going to do that, why don't you just restart the match tonight?
No, because Shane decided not to show up either, so.
Ridiculous.
We had no authority figures at SmackDown.
And how is it that all 3 referees couldn't agree on a finish? James Ellsworth announces it, and all of a sudden it's gospel.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Just unbelievable.
Is there a SmackDown pay-per-view between now and SummerSlam?
I think Battleground.
Battleground? Yeah, I wonder if we hit the restart button at Battleground. I don't know. There's the claim that no woman grabbed it, but I don't know if that's in the rules. So, and there's no disqualification, so I don't know. I just think that I don't know. The only thing I can think of off the top of my head right now is Daniel Bryan just putting Carmella in a match where the briefcase is on the line, because that has happened before.
Kennedy lost at the Edge.
Poor Mr. Kennedy after he screwed up Orton. lost that briefcase to Edge, and then went out of town.
No, Kennedy lost the briefcase because he got hurt.
Oh, is it different?
And they thought he was going to be out like 8 to 10 months, so they took the case off of him.
Oh.
And he came back in like 2 to 3 instead.
I thought that was...
They overestimated the injury timeline. No, you're thinking of something completely different.
I'm thinking of what got him fired, basically.
Yes. Yeah, completely different circumstances.
In another case of great match, stupid-ass finish, SmackDown Tag Team Championships, the Usos took on
lost the tag team titles tonight to the New Day when the referee made a fucking 3 count and pretended like he didn't. We all saw it, dipshit. You counted the 3 count.
Apparently it was 2 99/100ths.
My ass.
I know. Yeah, he did hit the 3. That was a little late there by one of the Usos trying to break up that. I don't know if that was on one of the Usos or on the ref counting too fast.
Oh, it was on one of the Usos.
Yeah.
Like whatever Uso wasn't on time, it was on them. The referee has to go through with the count, and that's what they've always said. If the referee has to make the count. It's up to the talent to stop them. And the fact that the ref hit the 3, the Uso didn't make it on time, and honestly, at that point, the Usos should have been punished. For you can't time your damn spot right. Why the fuck are you attacked? Why the fuck are you the tag team champions?
Yeah.
Take your Briscoe imitating asses elsewhere. And they should have put the fucking titles back on the New Day.
Yeah, another instance of a great match and shitty finish. Almost the exact same length of time as the women, so you could almost say a good 10 to 12 minute match, and then the final minute was ridiculous with the Usos.
Yeah,
the Usos.
Both matches were great.
Yeah.
And then they ruined it with the finish.
And how about Kofi putting out the old Dragon Sleeper? That was pretty cool.
I thought he did. I thought he cranked that on pretty good.
Yeah, that's a little different wrinkle for in Kofi's arsenal. Yeah, and then the Usos doing a SmackDown Live finish instead of a pay-per-view finish and walking out, getting the count out on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't the 1980s anymore, and you're not Money Incorporated. Like, you can't be pulling these finishes in 2017. It's garbage, just piss poor booking, and it shouldn't be done.
Yeah, it's not creative at all, especially on a pay-per-view. But we all know who to blame for that one too, huh?
I feel really defeated tonight. Because, I went into Extreme Rules expecting not to like it. But I legitimately thought I was going to enjoy the show tonight. And just didn't happen.
Yeah, only 5 matches on the card announced. You figure we were going to get a lengthy pair of ladder matches and a lengthy championship match with Jinder and Randy, and they show Bob Orton Jr. and Sergeant Slaughter talking backstage. Of course, it was announced a week or so ago that a bunch of legends were going to be flown into St. Louis for the event. They showed them in the front row just before Orton and Jinder. We'll talk about that later, but first, the SmackDown Women's Championship match. Lana's debut.
Congrats to Bob for finally getting that cast off.
Yeah, he should have had it with him tonight, man. Maybe Randy would have walked out with the title. Naomi, Lana. Room for improvement, but I was overall pleased with Lana's performance here, Matt. What did you think?
I thought it was fine. It wasn't like an amazing performance, but I didn't think she did badly either.
No.
Let me start this statement off by saying that I like Naomi a lot. Mm-hmm. But the problem with Naomi is she's not on the level of a Charlotte or a Sasha or a Becky or a Bailey, to the level of they can take somebody with them and they can work them to a good match.
Kind of like what Shawn Michaels did, what AJ Styles does.
Exactly. Naomi's not that worker. Naomi works on the level of who she's in the ring with.
Yeah.
And when she's in the ring with someone who's probably only had, to be fair, maybe 36 matches, maybe even less, it's hard. And Naomi's not the type of person to carry a match. And I really think for Lana's debut, she should have been in the ring with somebody who could help her through something like that. But like even working with Naomi, I saw a lot of signs of good things from Lana, and I think she's only going to get better.
I think she moved around in the ring. I think she moved around in the ring pretty well.
Yeah, I definitely. This isn't like an Eva Marie syndrome or anything. I really and truly believe that Lana's going to be one of those ones that gets better each time she's in there. And I think a year from now, I think she has the possibility of being really good.
Yeah. Like I said, I said room for improvement. Wasn't perfect, but I thought she looked fluid in the ring, getting in and out of the ring, moving around the ring. I thought she looked good. I think needs to work in front of 7,000 to 15,000 people a lot more often, and work on some striking better, maybe. But other than that, I mean, no complaints for me here. Carmella's music hit. We thought, oh no, we're going to get a Seth Rollins moment and make this a triple threat. But Carmella decided to just troll us all. Did not cash in. And then Naomi put in her submission move. I forget what she calls it. She said said the name of it on Talking Smack, but I forget now. But the submission makes Lana tap out after 8 minutes, and Naomi is still your SmackDown Women's Champion.
I rather would have had Lana get rolled up.
Instead of tapping out?
Yeah, like when she was distracted by Carmella, I'd rather have had Naomi roll her up and win. Like I've said on the show going into it, I just think when you're gonna debut somebody on a pay-per-view, for their very first match on the main roster, it shouldn't be a loss. And if it is a loss, it should be like a fluke loss or something that doesn't make them look bad. And I just think a tap-out loss for your first match on the main roster, not good creative-wise either. They could have done a better job protecting Lana than they did tonight.
I disagree to some point. I think it's fine here because, I mean, this is her first singles match. I'm fine with that. As long as they build her up going forward, winning matches and such, I'm fine with this being, a tap-out loss. Where does it go from here? Who knows? But up to this point, the highlight of the pay-per-view was another Fashion Files. You think this is getting over now, Matt? They're doing pay-per-view segments of the Fashion Files.
Look, I'm going to say it right now. This was the best thing on the show.
Oh, my God. First off, it was called Fashion Vice, as Dango and Breeze were wearing the white jackets just like Crockett and Tubbs on Miami Vice. Dango received a fax in the office and said it appears to be foreign. Well, it's actually upside down. It said answer the door. So Breeze goes and gets a videotape, and Dango goes, Coliseum? Oh, a little Coliseum home video humor.
Yeah, I was going to say, for people who don't understand that reference, the WWF back in the day, in the 80s and early 90s, their tape distribution for all of their shows and specials and stuff was Coliseum home video, and they were all on VHS. So between that and the property of Paul E. Giant
cell phone,
that segment was everything to me tonight. And the Fashion Police continue to be a highlight of SmackDown Live, and they were definitely a highlight of Money in the Bank tonight.
Yeah, and Paul Heyman definitely loved it as well, as he retweeted many tweets that had mentioned it, and even commented on commented about it himself. Heyman definitely loved the little call to his old portable phone there. Then we get ourselves an 80s rock anthem ballad playing, and Hearts are on the stage, and we're like...
I already knew who it was immediately.
I didn't, because I hadn't been keeping up with the news, but... So I was like, what in the blue fuck is this? Is this who Breezango is going to face? Is Billy and Chuck back together? No, it's Maria and Mike Kanellis. Yes, Mike Bennett. My brother from another mother is now no longer my brother. Well, it's still his real. He's still my brother from another mother because it's still
Vince hates you so much.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. He's
that he decided that they refused to have the word Bennett on their programming, so they're using Maria's last name instead.
And apparently, someone in the Indies had done that gimmick before. I guess taking his girlfriend's last name, whatever. I don't know. I saw that on Twitter. Like I
don't know who that would be.
Not me either. It was in a bingo hall somewhere. So.
I'm not gonna knock indie wrestling. They probably have better creative than WWE put out tonight.
But I think this could go somewhere with Mike taking her name. It appears like he's just going to be pussy whipped. But I thought this was a pretty cool debut for them. What did you think of the debut of Maria and Mike Kanellis?
Honestly, I thought it was beyond corny.
Well, yeah,
and I honestly really didn't think it was that good of a debut at all.
They're gonna make us puke with this. And
I really feel like these guys would have benefited, especially Mike in particular, would have benefited with vignettes and stuff leading up to their arrival, instead of just debuting them cold to a general audience where a lot of people probably don't even know who Mike is. No offense. They might remember Maria from back in the day, but I would say a lot of the average WWE fan doesn't know who Mike Bennett is. I definitely feel like some featured vignettes leading up to their debut probably would have been better for them. But what's done is done now, and we'll see how they're handled on Tuesday.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I thought it was fine, and I think it's a purposeful way to make us puke. They're going to be like this the whole. They're going to make us puke, and Mike's going to be a little puppy dog getting drug around by Maria. But for those who don't know, Mike Bennett's definitely a talented wrestler, so I'm excited to see what they bring to SmackDown Live on Tuesday night. Some people were surprised he didn't go to NXT. Well, thank his wife for that, probably.
Yeah, I think his wife's last name helped him bypass that.
Yeah.
But honestly, in 6 months from now, we'll be questioning if maybe we'll be able to question if he would have preferred to start it down in NXT.
True.
Let's when we get to our year-end show, we're in June right now, so 6 months from now would be the end of the year. When we get to the year-end show, let's touch back and determine if Mike would have preferred being in NXT over being what they've done with him on SmackDown for the next 6 months.
Yeah, I don't know where this is gonna go. It was a little weird, but I think it could be okay. And it's on SmackDown, so better writers than Raw.
Well, until we saw the pay-per-view tonight, and I'm not sure if I'm willing to agree with that much anymore.
Well, that's because somebody that's not normally at the SmackDown tapings was at Money in the Bank tonight.
I think Road Dogg should have just hit that certain someone with a pump handle slam, and Triple H should have stuffed him in a freaking closet and locked the door.
Got the claw on him. Hit him with a cast. Get the claw on him. Hit him with a cast. Put him in the figure four. Get all the legends gang up on Vince.
Well, all the legends probably thought it was a good show.
True. They show those legends at ringside. Greg Gagne, Larry the Axe Hennig, Baron Von Raschke, Sergeant Slaughter, Bob Orton Jr., and Ric Flair. Great ovation for especially Flair and Bob. And the JBL said Harley Race was going to be in attendance, but unfortunately he's had the accident at home with his broken legs. So hopefully he's doing a little better there. The Singh brothers introduced Jinder Mahal and Randy Orton makes his entrance, and hometown crowd, obviously, but that still was a very impressive pop for Randy Orton. And honestly, Matt, outside of the Singh brothers causing the interference into the Colossus, I thought this was a pretty solid match. I didn't have
match was fine.
I didn't have any complaints. I don't know. I guess
I wish Jinder would get a new finisher.
I think it's
because that finisher is so fucking weak sauce.
Yeah.
Like JB, if Jinder hit me with that move, I kick out in one.
Yeah. It's
not a good finisher.
No, it's like a Uranagi with a fancy opening, because he's got it in the Cobra Clutch to start, and it's just like a Uranagi. So.
Yeah, the dude needs. Look, you're the fucking WWE champion. Get this man a better finishing move, please. Like that's really not too much to ask.
I think the Legends. It just seemed like how we knew what was going to happen way ahead of time. Maybe that's why I was kind of soured on the end a little bit. I was absolutely surprised that Orton did not kick out of the Colossus. I thought he
why he didn't kick out of it last time either.
Yeah, so I guess that puts it over as being a good finisher.
But it sucks.
I know, but
hey, are you excited for free agent John Cena to come back and win the title on July 4th?
Free agent.
We'll win the title, Jack. For the 4th of July for America, Jack.
For America.
Now I'm gonna hold the title for 2 minutes, Jack, for the record-breaking 17th championship reign. Only for Baron Corbin to come out and cash in on me, Jack.
Yeah. Way to celebrate Ric Flair's record by holding the title for 2 weeks and then breaking the record, tying the record for 2 weeks and then breaking it for 2 minutes.
Put it past them.
No.
Exactly.
But that RKO from table to table on one of the Singh brothers was fucking badass. I loved it. That was fucking sweet. And I guess come to think about it, it fired up Randy, got him distracted, but I think we just all saw it coming. And Jinder was
dude, I saw the finish a million miles away.
And Jinder even said it on Talking Smack. Dude's a 13-time, or he said 14, but I think he's only a 13-time world champion. And Jinder's like, he's a 13-time world champion and made a rookie mistake. And I was like, yeah.
Well, in a way, Jinder, unbeknownst to him, basically just buried the WWE creative team.
Yeah.
So
hey.
Honestly, Jinder really just bitch slapped WWE creative with that line.
Let's clap for the Maharaja on that one then. Anybody that buries creative on camera can get a thumbs up from us.
Did you see Talking Smack on Tuesday when Nakamura said Ziggler was heading to Japan?
No, I didn't catch Talking Smack yet.
Yeah, I don't know if they've edited it out or not, but on Tuesday on Talking Smack, when Nakamura was the guest and he was running down his Money in the Bank opponents, he said that fucking Ziggler was leaving soon and going to Japan.
Oh, like quitting?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Like, I'm sure he wasn't supposed to say that. And Renee Young's like, ooh, breaking news. So I found that very interesting at the fact that
well, I haven't
Nakamura would let something like that slip on Talking Smack.
I haven't watched Raw yet from last week except for the opening.
Yeah, you don't need to.
So I'll put it on Hulu while I work tomorrow. So maybe after that.
Hulu while you work.
And I laughed way too hard at that.
Because we're just looking for anything to be entertained by tonight.
Yeah, because this wasn't sports entertainment; it was sports entertainment. So yeah, maybe I'll put up the Raw on the Hulu, and
don't fall asleep at work. You might if you're watching Raw.
Yeah, and then maybe I'll fire up the Talking Smack and 205 Live after that. Get all caught up before Raw tomorrow and SmackDown Tuesday, and then we'll be back to our regularly scheduled recordings after NXT. I gotta watch NXT yet too. Lots of things I need to catch up on. But I did catch up on SmackDown Live before Money in the Bank, and I was all hyped up about this being a good show, and yeah.
Yeah, I really expected that I was going to enjoy the show tonight, which makes it all the more disappointing. Because honestly, if I go in expecting to hate it and I don't like it, like I'm not hurt by it. Like I saw this coming. Like I knew the show was going to be bad and it was bad.
Yeah.
You know, but when I go in expecting like, oh, this is going to be a really good show, and they give me that, it's just like, oh my god, what the hell did I just watch?
Yeah. But props to Jinder and Randy. They put on a good match. I think, I've said this before on the show. I've been impressed with what Jinder's done since he's been put in the spotlight. So I'm looking forward to a longer reign here with Jinder as champion, and we'll see where it goes from there. Now, on the Fashion Files, on that little tape, a couple of guys were on the screen saying they were going to reveal themselves. They were the ones that attacked Dango, or the ones that attacked Breeze, and trashed the Fashion Files office.
I'd have put all the money on it being American Alpha.
That would have been interesting.
I thought, like, we haven't seen them in a while. They haven't been used. Like, a heel turn for American Alpha, like, I'd have been all about it tonight.
That could have led to a great feud that could have even carried into SummerSlam. And look, you got 2 tag feuds at the same time on the same show. No way. I said to Matt, I go on Twitter, I go, wow, this could be a great debut, but the way this pay-per-view is going is probably Ascension. And guess what? It was the Ascension. And I love the Ascension, goddammit, but they just...
The only reason I accepted it was when the music first hit, I lost my fucking mind. When I sat and thought about it for a couple minutes, well, at least this means that
Breezango's going to win.
Breezango has a chance to win this match.
Yeah.
The Fashion Police can win. I wasn't so sure they'd beat American Alpha. But so I mean that was the only positive to it being the Ascension.
Yeah, I just looking at the TV thing, the little TV thing during the Fashion Files, I just thought all along it was the Ascension. Alpha would have been cool. Hell, debut War Machine. Why not?
They don't have War Machine.
They need to, I said debut.
War Machine's fighting at Best in the World next week.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying. But yeah.
Hey, you're really stretching on that one, pal.
Well, we have to stretch. I mean, come on. What else can we do? But Breezango got the win after 4 minutes, thank God. They remind us that the Great Balls of Fire is 3 weeks from tonight. Talking Smack is being plugged. Renee and Booker T host. Jinder Mahal, Naomi, and the Money in the Bank winner are going to be on the show. And speaking of Money in the Bank, ladder match here is the Money in the Bank ladder match. AJ Styles comes out to a gigantic ovation, followed by Dolph Ziggler. Sami Zayn to a nice ovation. Kevin Owens to a nice ovation. And then Shinsuke Nakamura to a huge ovation, only for that dick Baron Corbin to attack him from behind and rob us of the Nakamura entrance. And Corbin proceeds to beat the shit out of Nakamura, hitting him with a ladder, hitting him with a camera, essentially knocking Nakamura out of the match. I immediately thought he's being replaced with Rusev. Did you think that?
No, but Rusev's tweets trolled me tonight.
Yeah, they did.
Well, as soon as he said, "Okay, I've seen enough" or something along those lines, I'm like, "Oh my God, Rusev's coming out!" And then 3 minutes later, he said, "Okay, here it comes" or something like that. I'm like, "All right, he's trolling." And I waited for the punchline, which he put out right after the match was over about playing Destiny. So, and I said, "Troll Rusev, troll," which he most certainly did.
Well, Pro Wrestling Sheet said that Rusev's cleared to return to action, so I highly believe that he will be on SmackDown this week. My gut is he starts a feud with Randy Orton and beats Randy Orton, maybe on his way to a title shot somewhere down the line. That is just my gut feeling right now. That'd be a good place to slot him, especially if you have him win a feud, have it win against a legend like Randy Orton, and give him much needed momentum. Orton doesn't need to win that feud, so I think that'd be a perfect scenario for Rusev.
I just don't know why. I don't know why and how that feud fits at the moment. So
Why?
I was gonna say we'll wait and see how. We'll wait and see what they do with him on Tuesday if he's there at all.
Were you pissed off at what they did with Nakamura, or were you okay? Were you?
I was pissed off until he came back.
Okay.
Because
were you worried he wasn't coming back?
The longer the match went on, yes.
Yeah.
Like 5 or 10 minutes in, I was just like when it got like 5 or 10 minutes in the match, I'm like, okay, what the fuck? He didn't get beat on that bad. Like, there's no way this dude shouldn't be back here by now. And I tweeted it right out. I'm like, if he doesn't return to this match tonight, like, he was booked to look incredibly weak. And and luckily he came back and got a lot of spots in, which honestly the creative, the way they did it made sense. They let Sami Zayn shine in the first half of the match by not having Nakamura there. And the second half of the match, I guess maybe the last quarter of the match, I mean, however you want to determine it, was all about Nakamura shining. So, yeah, I didn't. Once he came back, I didn't have a problem with it. But like, the longer I was waiting for him to come back out, I'm like, oh my god, if he doesn't come back out, like, this is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. Some of the highlights of what I think was probably one of the best matches of the year. I thought all 6 guys did a phenomenal job. Ziggler cutting AJ's legs when he was going for a forearm, and then Corbin takes Ziggler off the apron into a sick deep 6 on the floor, and then Zayn hit a springboard moonsault onto Corbin. That was an amazing series there. Then another great moment of the match. I mean, Sami Zayn had a lot of great moments, as you just said, Matt. How about AJ Styles doing basically the AA to Kevin Owens on the ladder? Woo!
That didn't break. Oh! Like, I feel like that ladder was supposed to break. And that ladder just decided that it didn't feel like it.
Kevin Owens is a beefy guy, and that still didn't break. I think moment of the match was Zayn's sunset powerbomb flip onto Ziggler off the ladder. That was just fucking insane. No pun intended, but I think that was probably my favorite spot of the match. Matt, what do you think?
It was great, but I'll tell you right now, if WWE was too blind to see the dollar signs in that AJ Styles knockout there now, like I do not know what to fucking tell them at that point.
I love how I tweeted this out. I go, if you don't make this for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania, I don't know what you're thinking. But I absolutely loved how each one of them had one end of the ladder and they just gently put it off to the side so they could fight. And St. Louis was marking the fuck out. I was marking the fuck out. The internet was marking the fuck out. That was just an amazing moment right there. I just loved it. They just gently put the ladder off to the side and then threw down. That was completely awesome. As they were fighting, they eventually got the ladder back into the middle of the ring, and both Nakamura and AJ were climbing up the ladder to try to grab the briefcase, only for Corbin to shove the ladder over, knock both guys into the ropes, and that allowed Baron Corbin to climb up, grab the briefcase, as it was been rumored for a long time now that Baron Corbin is your new Mr. Money in the Bank after a 30-minute match, a phenomenal match. Like I said, probably one of the best ones of the year. I would put it up there as one of the best of the year. And these guys came to play, and Matt, thank God Nakamura came back. Otherwise, this probably would have maybe gotten a few marks down, a few pegs down if Nakamura didn't come back, right?
You think?
But in the end, I think it. I mean, in hindsight, it was brilliant because Nakamura went on this Kinshasa fest that just killed everybody, and that I mean, so it was at the end, and after it was all said and done, Nakamura looked good coming out of it. So we always do our 5 count during a pay-per-view. Since I've been kind of readjusting, getting back into things, didn't have time to come up with one, but we came up with one on the fly during the show because, well, this one, the 5 count, is 5 things we would fix about Money in the Bank. So the WWE basically wrote it for us tonight, didn't they, Matt?
Yeah, like we've already gone over this throughout the discussing this entire pay-per-view. So I mean, this isn't really that hard to put this together.
No. There's 5 matches, so I guess we could go down each one and say what we would fix. Obviously, with the women, I mean, Carmella climbing up on James's shoulders, right?
Yep.
Anything. I mean,
a woman grabbing the briefcase to win. What a concept.
Yeah. I mean, just completely shitting on the women's revolution by not doing that. How would you fix the tag team championship match?
I would have went with the 3 count that you had. you made the damn 3 count. Live with it. New day, new tag team champions. If you want the Usos to hold the title so bad, put it back on them Tuesday. But the New Day won that match. The Usos' timing was off. The ref hit the 3 count. There's no reason why that shouldn't have been a title change.
We're on live TV, pal.
Yeah, exactly.
What would you do to fix the Naomi and Lana match?
Like on me personally, like I said, I'd have had no Naomi roll up Lana while she was distracted by Carmella being out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would have done.
What would you have done to fix the Jinder Mahal Randy Orton match?
I'd had Randy not be such a dumbass.
Not making that rookie mistake, huh?
Well, it was really, like, honestly, I have to imagine Orton saw this, like, the creative of this match, and it's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, because they don't book
You're going to make me look like a fucking dumbass in my hometown?
They don't book heels to be that stupid.
Yeah, well, they booked Orton, a 13-time WWE champion, to look like an idiot tonight. And I definitely wouldn't have done that. Like, there's nothing wrong with Mahal winning, but I'd have had him beat Orton fair and square. You know, I would have ejected the Singh brothers, and I'd have had Mahal beat Orton clean. And you really could have put Mahal over and given him some pretty good credibility by doing that.
Yeah.
And you didn't.
Yeah, especially, I mean, once they kicked out the Singh brothers, yeah, I mean, if Mahal comes out on top, then you're like, oh wow, you know, he definitely earned it and didn't need J&J Security,
exactly.
India's division to help.
Same security.
So, what would you do to fix the Money in the Bank ladder match, or would you? Because that was a good match.
I probably wouldn't have had Nakamura be in the back as long. That's a nitpick. Like, I don't really, you know, like, look, unless we're gonna changing the winner, like if we can't change the winner there, I'm not gonna really change anything.
Yeah.
If I could change the winner, I'd have let Zayn, Nakamura, or Styles win the case. I just think it makes more sense to when a heel is your champion that a babyface is holding the briefcase and vice versa.
Yeah.
Like, I think it would have made a lot more sense for Orton to win the title back tonight and then Corbin win the briefcase. I just think that would have been better. Like a heel holding the briefcase and a heel being the champion kind of just creates a very weird, you know, dynamic right now.
Yeah, but July 4th is just around the corner.
Yeah, that's what scares me.
And on top of that, they were testing the waters of turning Corbin face a couple of months ago, and he did smile a lot on Talking Smack, but he should have smiled a lot because he's holding that fucking briefcase.
Yeah, like, no, I think he was smiling because he finally feels like he got something he worked his ass for. I don't think it was anything about being a babyface. I think it was just about, you know, I finally got, you know, my first, like, really big win on the main roster, and I'm pretty fucking happy about it.
Andre the Giant doesn't count. Sorry.
No, it really doesn't.
Because, who was it elevated? Well, I guess it's elevated Baron Corbin because he's had a good year. That's the only one that's elevated.
Yep.
Yeah, I loved it when Baron slammed the briefcase down on the table during Talking Smack. I thought that was pretty cool. You had to have an interaction there at the end there. Well, we took, as we always do at the end of the show, took our poll to Twitter to ask you, how would you rate Money in the Bank headlined by Baron Corbin grabbing the briefcase? Thanks to everybody that voted, and not a big surprise how it turned out. 14% said A, 12%, the lowest percentage, said B, 26% said C, and almost half the people voting, 48%, gave it a D or an F, Matt.
I don't blame them.
Not
a bit.
If it wasn't for the awesome...
If it wasn't for the main event, this pay-per-view would have been a solid F.
Yeah. I give it probably a C minus.
I'll give it a D, maybe a D plus, thanks to the main event.
I thought the title match was good too, so I think those kind of saved it from going to D or F for me. The women's title match was, just there, and the first two matches had shitty finishes, so I would give it a C or a C minus, just because the final two matches were good. Well, that's going to do it, folks, for our Money in the Bank post-show. Thank you for tuning in to Lost in the Midcard. And also thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. If you haven't done so already, do a search for Lost in the Midcard and subscribe. That way you know every time a new episode comes your way, every Thursday and most Mondays after WWE pay-per-views. You can also subscribe to us on the YouTube, and the links to all that are on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard. Matt does a good job of retweeting the great tweets from the professional wrestling world. A lot of entertaining tweets. And so make sure to follow at LITMC Podcast for that as well. Matt is on the Twitter at Raw of Showtime. I am on the Twitter at JB Huskers. And before we ride off into that sunset, Matt, what are your final thoughts?
I hope SmackDown is a lot better on Tuesday than this pay-per-view was tonight.
That's a low bar, buddy.
Well, at this point, I'm not asking for much.
Nope. For Matt Black, this is Jeremy Bennett. Thank you for tuning in to Lost in the Midcard. We'll be back at you on Thursday.